Hi everyone, this is Bitupan. Welcome to Mindful Talks. Today I'm bringing a guest who will talk about communication. He's a communication expert, and communication is not just about speaking. Everybody speaks, but not everybody can communicate because communication is much more than just speaking. It's about how you connect to somebody, how you make somebody understand what you are trying to say. So I'm with Nizom Baruah, who is a transformational youth speaker, vlogger, and a content creator. He completed his MBA in sales and marketing. However, throughout his student and professional life, he saw how people lag in communicating and expressing their views across the table, which ultimately hampers their overall growth. And that's when he decided to help people find their voice, educate them to communicate better, and escalate their confidence level. Previously, he worked in corporates in sales and marketing roles. He has spoken at many educational institutes and conducted workshops and trainings on communication. He specializes in topics like storytelling, soft skills, communication, public speaking, motivational and transformation consulting. His motivational talks, videos, and podcasts have grown on social media, following a huge number within a span of 1 year. Let's understand from him how to become an excellent communicator. Communication is not just about public speaking. We are communicating all the time, whether we are talking to our spouse or to our bosses or to our friends. I hope you are going to learn a lot from him. Let's get started. Hi, Nizom. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. So, how is the weather in Guwahati? It's raining. We both are in the same city now.
We both are in the same city, but actually I'm not in Guwahati. I'm in Nagaon at this point.
Oh, is
And
it?
so I'm back home. I'm actually back home spending some time with my family. And I was
Hmm.
away from home for 9 years. So I think there's never been a better time to spend time with family. So I'm actually making up for all the time that I wasn't there. So yeah.
Uh-huh. Ah, that's right. Okay, so you are one of a kind because usually I call people from spirituality background, from health and wellness, but I want to talk about communication with you because you are a speaker. You also give communication training. So I thought this is also important for people to know what is communication and how to improve their communication. So we'll talk a lot about that. But my first question to you is, what is communication actually? I mean, communication is not just about speaking because everybody speaks, right? Every person speaks. But what is communication and how is it different from just speaking?
So in very layman's terms, a good communicator is a person who is able to, present the message from point A to point B.
Hmm.
So you are a good communicator if you are able to, transcend the message from point A to point B. That is the
Hmm.
basic example of communication and the basic principle of what communication is.
Hmm.
But however, the message to reach across in the other hand, whosoever is there, it can be one specific individual, it can be a group of people.
Hmm.
Are they able to comprehend that message? Are they able to
Hmm.
understand that message? Are they able to decipher what you're trying to say? If you do that,
Hmm.
that's when you become an exceptional communicator. So, in a very thin line, this is a difference between a communicator and an exceptional communicator.
Hmm.
So, to be an exceptional communicator, you need to have a lot of add-ons on your message. Now, what I mean by add-ons is
Hmm.
it is not just the content, but it is about how you deliver your content as well, which comprises of your hand gestures, which comprises of your facial expressions, which comprises of the tonality of your voice. Because no one would want, let's say, for example, we are talking and I just keep on talking to you in one note. And where
Hmm.
is the fun in that? And would you be having more retention if I keep on doing it without any body movements? So, that's how
Got
it
it.
goes. So this, in very layman's term, is a basic, principle of communication. So communication, the process of communication is when you transcend or when you transfer a message from point A to point B. But an exceptional communicator is who is to the point, able to deliver a message in such a way that people sitting on the other hand is able to comprehend the message. So I
Hmm.
think that's what communication in very simple terms is all about.
So you said, it includes some add-ons like hand gestures and all. So are they called soft skills?
They are absolutely called soft skills. And
Hmm.
so soft skills is basically you draw two circles, and then in the inner core of the circle, there is this hard skill, the skill that you have an expertise. It can be you are a doctor, it can be you are an engineer, it can be you are a fitness trainer, it can be you are, it can be anything for that matter. That's your hard skill. That's something that you
Hmm.
expertise in. But on the outer periphery, the other circle, which comprises of all the skills that would require you to take your hard skill to people.
Hmm.
For example,
Got you.
you can be a great doctor. You are absolutely well about your, about the skill set that you have. But if people are not even aware about the skill set, if people don't even know what you're good at, if you cannot make a relationship with your people, if you want to make a living out of it, if you cannot commercialize your hard skill,
Hmm.
then there's no point of that hard skill, right? Then
Right.
these soft skills are the things that actually comprises of those skill sets, which gives an edge to your hard skills. So, nowadays, everywhere across the globe, I will not just say in one specific place, people are so well versed and so focused into enhancing their soft skills. It's
Hmm.
because they understand that doesn't matter how good they are in their hard skill, if they're not able to put it forward to an audience, they will never be able to make a living out of it. So yeah.
Hmm. Got you. So I have some more questions around this communication. But before that, what's your story? So you have done MBA. Then how did you end up teaching communication to people? How did you end up in this line?
It's a lot of things coming together, and then I figured out what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
So you know so basically my life before 2017 was just like any other individual. It was like all across partying and drinking and wasting money, and I've done all of it. I've done all of it. So
Hmm.
no regrets in that front.
Hmm.
But so what happened back in 2017 is when my father passed away,
Oh.
and I point of had some realization in my life. Not something that it's like now life is going to be hard, or there'll be financial issues or stuff. So we were all good. We were all settled with that front. But I think it was kind of a realization or a flag for me to realize that what you have done in your past life, I think you should move on and you should do something more progressive in nature. So
Hmm.
that's a self realization. No one actually taught me, or no one told me to do that. And then what I did is I started leveraging social media, and I started writing quotes based on my daily experiences.
Okay.
And once I started doing that, a lot of people started connecting with me. A lot of people started resonating with me. Let's say if I write a quote in the morning, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I can relate to your quote so much. It just happened to me this morning, and thank you so much for giving me a solution on the same."
So
So
you made these
that's
quotes by yourself, right? And what
yeah,
were
yeah,
these
yeah,
quotes
yeah,
all
yeah.
about? I mean, any particular subject? It's about
It
life.
was my daily life experiences, my
Hmm.
experiences, or the
Okay.
things that I have faced.
Hmm.
So the things that me and my family has faced during the rough phase of my life. So I actually wanted to put it across, and initially I did not realize it why I was doing it. Very
Hmm.
honestly, I had no agenda. I
Hmm.
had no agenda whatsoever. I was just putting out quotes, and then people started connecting with me. And then I figured out that the problems that we face in our lives, the problems that you might face, or the problem that I might face, we more or less, they are the same. It is just that we face those problems at different parts of our lives.
Hmm.
Some people might
Okay.
face it early, some people might face it later. And then I figured out that, if I put out how I have faced that problem and how I found a solution to it, maybe someone who might cross paths with a problem like this can implement my solution and find relief in that. And by experimenting all of these skill sets, I figured out that there's this one skill that I have, and there's one skill that I enjoy as well, which is communication
Hmm.
and public speaking. And when I took a pause, and then I looked back. I took a reverse gear, and I checked on. Then I looked back, and I've seen all the stage shows that I have done, all the anchoring that I have done, all the public speaking gigs that I have done. And then I figured out that, this is something that I can definitely teach people, because I have overcome that fear. Why
Hmm.
not I put across my own story and help people, overcome their communication and public speaking trauma as well. Then I
Hmm.
started doing some research and stuff, and I figured out that public speaking is the number one fear on the planet. I mean, there's
Right.
no other fear than public speaking, the equal to public speaking. I mean, it's just, there is public speaking and there is the fear of dying. So the fear of dying is second, and public speaking is first.
Right. You actually reminded me a
Yeah,
good point. We can discuss about this public speaking fear today. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Huh.
And then gradually I figured out, this is something that I can help, I can add value to people, at the same point of time make a living for myself as well. And then I
Hmm.
started doing keynotes, then I started doing trainings, paid gigs with corporates, with educational institutes, with NGOs, and a lot of other, I started taking consulting calls where I train people one-on-one on their public speaking communication. Gradually I've enhanced my portfolio. I've figured out that a lot of people, despite of having a great product and a great service, they're not able to take it towards the market, because for one simple reason is that they cannot present their product and service in the best possible manner. But this is in a nutshell how I figured out that, what I think, this is something that I enjoy, this is something I never get bored of doing, and this is something which can add value to a lot of people as well. So why not do it on a large scale? And ever
So
since
you
then
got
I've
your
been,
Ikigai? Have you read the book Ikigai?
I have read the book Ikigai, and
Uh,
Ikigai, yes, but one circle is still missing,
okay. Which one is
which
that?
is it's making a full-fledged living out of it, because I'm at a very initial stage now, and
Uh,
I'm actually doing it, but it's like the circle is not completely filled. It's
hmm.
probably 30% filled, but in order for that circle, when it will be filled by 50-60%, probably that's when I can, completely, fulfill the Ikigai triangle
Hmm.
there. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's on a nutshell my story.
For those of you who do not know what is Ikigai, uh, no, I think you should Google it out and see. You will get all in a quick, in a very 3-4 sentences. You'll get to
Yeah,
understand what is Ikigai.
it's a Japanese way of describing life. So,
Right.
when he's not saying it, I will not do the easy work for you as well.
Okay, so let's come back to communication. See, many people, I mean, people who have mother tongue influence. Like you must be knowing that people from Assam, like you, we both are from Assam, but we know that many people from Assam have mother tongue influence. People from Orissa, Bengal. So, and there we know, I think you also many people who are of the age 50, 60 or something. Okay, they are in the positions of directors and vice presidents of big companies. They have spoken a lot in their life during their corporate life, but they still have mother tongue influence for so many years. It has not improved. But do you think that mother tongue influence is something no in a good communication, or it is okay?
It is absolutely okay.
Okay.
This is
Hmm.
the external influence of the English language which has fostered the culture that,
Hmm.
if someone has a, a mother tongue, dialect sort of an influence in their English, they are not good communicators. It is
Hmm.
obsolete. It is just a problem which is created by us, which presents that, this is a very external influence. I hope you understand that, because we disregard people who has an Assamese accent, or a Hindi kind of an accent, or any mother
Hmm.
tongue accent in their English. And here is a thought: to know good communication, you don't have to be an expert in English. English is a medium.
Right.
Communication is an art.
Hmm.
So people can be great communicators in Hindi also. People can be great communicators in Assamese. People can be great communicators in Kannada. People can be great communicators in whatsoever language they are fluent in. They can be great communicators.
That's what you said rightly. That communication is the art. English is just the medium, right?
Right.
Okay, so in this art, I read it somewhere that it is said more than 90% of the communication is non-verbal, and only very small amount is verbal. What do you mean by that? Can you explain?
Have you seen my recent video a week back
Which
by any
one?
chance?
Which one? Because you have posted many
This
videos.
the 7% rule. So this is actually called as the 7% rule, whatever you just said.
No, I haven't
7%.
seen that, but I read it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me tell you about it. So this is in the year around 1960s when a professor from the University of California, his name was Albert Mehrabian. So
Okay.
he did this study with
Okay.
a few of his colleagues, and
Hmm.
he combined two studies. In one study,
Hmm.
he recorded the voice of a woman of speaking just one word, and that word is maybe. And then so he recorded that, and then that word maybe was actually recorded in three different emotions to project three different emotions. One is likability, second one is neutrality, and the third one is dislike. Now, along with the voice, they were actually shown a picture of a lady also demonstrating these three kind of an emotions. Okay.
Okay. There are two different
So
ladies. One was speaking, the other one was
no,
demonstrating.
yeah. So there was I mean, this is the first research. So there is a recorded voice and there
Hmm.
is a picture,
Okay.
and all these recorded voice and this picture, they actually demonstrate the same thing. One demonstrates the voice in these three emotions, and one just the visual, just the visual of these three
Hmm.
emotions. More than 50% of the sample audience were able to uh, uh, you know uh, describe the emotion by looking at the picture and not the sound.
Hmm.
More than 50%. Okay, that's one study. In the second study, so there were 9 words. Okay, a lady again saying 9 words, and these 9 words, three words, they were bifurcated in 3 words. Okay, and these 3 words were actually doing the same thing again. 3 words are to describe likability, 3 words to describe neutrality, and 3 words to describe dislike. Okay, now here, in fact, listening to that word, listening to these 3 words again, you know more people were able to break down or figure out the emotion of what the voice was wanting to convey to them. Now, combining these two studies, Albert Mehrabian has concluded that this 7 rule of communication, where 7 rule is dedicated to just content, and 93 is dedicated to the non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues like the voice tonality, the body language, the pitch of your voice, your facial gestures, and all the things that surrounds the communication. But the words were just 7%. Now, I do not agree with this. And most firmly, I don't agree with the percentages associated with them. Now, I haven't done my research, so I cannot associate a specific number of percentage to it. But what I can surely say is words definitely play a major role. We cannot disregard word by just giving it a 7%. It's like we are talking shit, but I'm talking shit in such a good manner that people are accepting the shit. It doesn't have to be this way. I cannot sugarcoat a shit and I can tell it. It's
Like
ultimately shit.
politicians.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people do. I
They
mean,
talk
a
shit
lot
and
of
people
manipulation.
accept it. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, it actually the politicians. I mean, by talk shit, politicians. What it means is, they would make promise which they do not fulfill. I mean, that's
hmm.
what's it's seen in the majority of the cases. But what
Hmm.
I mean by talking shit here is the information or anything that might not add value. You just might want to sugarcoat it and put it out there. And by giving just 7% to words, we're actually insulting the intellect of the audience and insulting the intellect of the speaker as well, because here we are not paying any attention. It's like someone who can just speak out anything, can sugarcoat it, can do hand gestures, can do body movements, actually can thrive in speaking. But I don't think so that's worth it. That's a
Hmm.
very disregard that people that a lot of people have been doing. So I'm not sure what kind of a percentages should be associated, but what I'm sure is definitely 7% is very less for words, because if you are not able to you know exactly put forward the message that you want to convey, what the message is, because the message is exactly the 7%. Whatever, how you put it comprises of the rest of it. If the message, the 7% is not good, then 93% has no value at all. It has no value at all. That's what I think personally. So I think we have to work on the content, at the same point of time work on our body language, on how to deliver as well. I think what to deliver and how to deliver, both fall on the parallel grounds. I mean, that's what I think about the 7% rule of communication.
Got it. And then this is interesting because, as you said, that most people are scared of public speaking, and that comes next. I heard it. I heard this. Other people also say the same thing. But then, why public speaking fear? Why do people have this fear, and how to overcome this fear?
There's one thing, like this, the top-notch thing, despite of they don't know, they are not prepared, all of it, leave all of that aside. There's one thing they cannot confront that fear or don't want to confront it is because they fear judgment of people. Most of
Ah,
us.
right.
Now you go back to school, okay? Go back to school and just remember an incident where the teacher asked you a question. You're like, stand up. This is the question. Answer it. You know the answer. You know the answer very well. How many times it has happened to you that you're not able to present it properly because you fear, if I goof up, if I speak the wrong answer, if I'm not able to present myself properly, these students who are sitting right next to me, they will laugh upon me. I will be a laughing stock. I will be judged upon. I will be, people will make a mockery out of me.
Hmm.
And that fear of judgment is actually holding tremendous amount of people. I mean, you become self-conscious, not self-aware, self-conscious. And when that
Okay.
self-conscious takes over in public speaking, because here you're not focused on yourself, here you're not focused on your message, here
Hmm.
you're focused on what will the audience think about me, how will they accept me. It is your public speaking will come later on. First you have to accept the fact that you are, the audience is there not to judge you, the audience is there to motivate you. I mean, this is a video I've made few days back also. We
Okay.
already go out there with a mindset that audience are sitting there to judge me, audience are sitting there to make fun of me. It is not the case. The audience, speaking gigs, paid gigs, seminars, trainings, audiences have paid to take value from you.
Of course. Yeah.
So they
Right.
want to motivate you. They actually want to listen to you.
Right.
They actually want to give you their wholehearted attention. They are there to clap for you. They have already made up the mind that, I paid for this and I will make the most out of it. They are
Right.
coming with the mindset, right? And then there's the speaker who's very self-conscious. Oh my God, what will I do if they judge me, if they laugh at me? They will not. They're not there with the agenda. So that is one of the topmost things that we got to take off from our plate.
You see, actually, the
Then,
thing about judgment that you were saying, when people use Facebook, when they post something or when they put a picture, they are also actually expecting judgment from people, right? Reactions, whether people will like it or they will
reactions.
show angry, become angry, or they will give love notes, whatever it is. They're expecting judgment from people, right? They don't get nervous. How will people judge my post? They can relate it this way and then
Right.
think about about what will people
Right.
think. Why do you have to worry about that? Just imagine that these are your Facebook friends sitting right in front of you. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you've got a very valid point. So once this self-consciousness fear goes away, actually the fear shouldn't go away. The fear should be there. Now,
Oh.
if I tell you that tomorrow I go to the stage or when I take a seminar, I'm not scared, I'll be lying. I'm definitely scared. Definitely there's a fear inside me.
Right.
But over the time, I have learned to channelize the fear. Your
Mhm.
body triggers fear. Your body triggers adrenaline rush
Right.
because your body wants you to prepare because you're going to do something important.
Hmm.
That's what your body's automatic mechanism is preparing you to do. You got to do something important. I
Right.
better prepare you. The oxygen levels goes high. Our blood flows, becomes fast. It's your body preparing you and telling you that you're going to do something important. You would need this energy,
Hmm.
and that's what our body is preparing. And then when we are not able to channelize that fear, what happens is your legs start shivering, your hands start shaking, you start sweating, you start stammering in front of the stage.
Hmm.
And that's what happens when we're not able to channelize fear. So first of all, we got to take off that self-consciousness. And the second thing is what you've said is, people when they put up posters or whatever pictures or images in Facebook, all of them are mostly beautiful. or most of the pictures posted in any social media, they will not post anything which is not good. They'll post anything which is pretty much beautified and stuff like that, right? So because they know and they are confident enough that people will like it because it is good, it is acceptable. Now here comes the public speaking part. You will only know if you're good at speaking or not if you practice it more and more often. You've got to practice public speaking skills and communication skills, because it is just like learning to drive. It's just like learning to cook. It's just like learning to do anything for that matter. And I have been coaching a lot of people, and as a coach, what I do is I just give them a hand holding of how to improvise things. But how I have learned is I've learned all of it myself, and anyone can do it. The process becomes much easier with a coach, because your graph becomes pretty exponential, because now I help them to not make the same mistakes which I have made. Right. I'm sure you do the same thing as well. So I have learned all of these things myself, and I have learned all of these things myself by doing it repeatedly, by hitting the stage, by being more participating, by talking to more people, by talking to strangers, by getting rejected and still asking for more. A lot of other things. These can be done, at your own end as well. And it's very easy. You just got to keep doing it more and more and more often. It has to become a muscle memory, right? For example, to ride a cycle, we don't have to think. Our brain doesn't have to think to ride a cycle. It is a muscle memory now. To drive a car, when you have driven it for enormous amount of time, it is your muscle memory now. The same with speaking as well. When you go to the stage, you just have to be prepared, and you just have to practice your speech. Then it becomes your muscle memory. It becomes very easy. And the fear only remains for the first, I think, 10 seconds. The rest is just you are having a conversation with the audience. It's just you having a conversation with the audience. When you start having fun by doing something, that's when you realize you're actually getting good at that. Right, when it's scaring you to a great extent, then you're not pretty much, you still have a lot to learn. Everyone has a lot to learn. I am learning about my skill set. I'm crafting my skill set every day. You are doing the same as well. But to reach a certain level where you can start teaching people and where you can execute more, you have to do these two things. And I think these two things are the quintessential elements of becoming a good speaker.
No, I wanted to ask you actually the next question, like what can people do to improve their communication skill? I think you have already answered that. Practice, it becomes your muscle memory, right? That is how you have done by yourself, right?
Yeah.
You haven't
done I'll make it I'll make it a little easier. Sorry to cut you off in between. So all of you who are actually willing to, learn something, there is this trick where people say, speak in front of the mirror. Don't speak in front of the mirror. It is shit. Mirrors don't give you feedback. There is no point of speaking in front of the mirror. Use your phone. Take your phone, take a book, read a paragraph, and record yourself. Once you're done reading a paragraph, watch the video again. Try to figure out where you stammered. Try to figure out where you stopped. Try to figure out which word was difficult for you to pronounce. Try to figure out where your pronunciations went wrong. These things, these feedbacks are given to you by a video. Nice. So make a video of yourself. Once you do that video exercise for a specific amount of time, then you're okay to go out, but not outside. Then go and speak in front of a peer group, which is non-judgmental. Let's say, for example, it can be a very close friend of yours. It can be your mother, your father, your brothers or sisters, who will not give you judgmental remarks, but will give you, constructive criticism where you can improvise, because these are the people who will not demoralize you. If you make a video and you think you're good at that and you directly hit the outside world, and then, you might go wrong, and people, and you're not able to accept the fact, it can be a great demoralizing factor to you. So don't try to jump the queue, right? Go step by step. Make a video first. This is one of the easiest exercises that I teach, and people have got tremendous amount of results. You don't need anyone. Just do that, Then second, get the feedbacks from a peer group, which is non-judgmental. And then you can take one step ahead and start going and speaking in front of strangers. But these two are just the practice fields, by the way. When you speak in front of even a small group of 3 to 4 people, that's when the test begins. And every talk, every communication you do will be a lesson for you. I mean, every talk I do, even now when I'm talking to over this video, it's a lesson for me. I would watch this video and I'd figure out, you know what, I was doing too much of hand gestures at this point. You know what, I was actually
Mm.
speaking too much. I should have stopped here. And then I'd figure out and I'd improvise.
I
So
do that
this on a
myself,
nutshell
right?
is how you can begin.
Hmm.
Exactly. This in a nutshell is how you can, start your journey.
Right, right. Amazing, yaar. I mean, these are the tips that you have implemented by yourself in your life, and that is how you did. And I think
Yes.
most of them
Yes.
actually do this, right? Who are good communicators, they do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine then, Nizam. I think we will close this here, but it was great talking to you. I think people who
Same
wanted,
here.
who are listening, they will definitely get amazing tips from you how to improve their communication. And communication, as we have discussed, it is very important because all the time we are communicating, right? Even animals are communicating to each others, but ours is a very strong communication with other people, right? Communication is important for sales, in business and in corporates, right?
At any point of life, at any point of life, you go and talk to your, if let's say for example, Bitupon has an argument with his wife, and then Bitupon is not able to present his viewpoint in an exact manner, there is no solution there. But if you're
Hmm.
able to, put forward your message in an exact way that your wife, your better half, is able to comprehend it, then
Right,
your communication expertise here becomes a solution here, right? Then
right,
you're able to
right.
put it better. So I think, and again, wanted to break a wrong notion that everyone has.
Hmm.
Public speaking is not only when you speak in front of from a stage. Public speaking
Okay.
is now when me and Bitupon are talking, we are also doing public speaking. When you're
Hmm.
negotiating with a sales client, you're also doing public speaking. When you're approaching a girl or a boy, to ask out for a date, you are public speaking. When you are going to an investor to get an investment, you are public speaking. Public speaking and communication, we do, it's like breathing. We do every day. If we're able to, master that art, then it's like, we will be able to find solutions in our life very, very easily.
Right. True, man. Amazing then. Thank you so much, Nizam. Great talking to you. We'll connect again sometime later. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much
Okay.
for having me and have a great day. Bye bye.
Pleasure. Bye bye.